I don't think going on reality shows and that does as much as people think, especially for black men. If you understand psychology and subliminal messages, you will see it. So I'll give you a very quick breakdown. The very first time you saw the trailer for my wedding, they played a statement that I said in week 6. That's the first thing you really heard me say. Really, usually I go for someone more petite. Mm-hmm. This is a line I said to her sisters at the homestay. Common sense isn't common. Most people are led by what they see on TV. Yeah. If TV says this is bad, everyone's gonna say, yeah, it's bad. They're not gonna dig deeper, think and whatnot. So all you have to do is make lemonade out of the damn lemons.
So what would you not say is easier then, based on what you know, parenting back in the day or today? Because they both got their ups and downs. Like back in the day, yeah, you're rolling with 3 kids, yeah, and you want to go to your friend's house, you could just leave all 3 of them in the whip.
That's it. That's it. And it wasn't a problem.
Hours.
Yeah.
They wouldn't even invite you upstairs, bro.
Yeah.
Just in the car.
Yeah. And anywhere. I remember being dropped to parties. There's aunties doing a party. I get dropped there. Mum's off.
You don't know when they're coming back.
Think about that.
Yeah.
You don't know when they're coming back.
Do you know how mad that is that they used to just drop us?
Yeah, man.
They didn't even look back to even say, like, who are you with? You're at a party. They've gone. And they've gone to another party.
Yeah.
Then they finished that.
But you didn't mind though, innit? Like it was cool because you saw the food, you saw the friends or whatever.
I don't know, dude. Do you know why? I just feel like we were used to not having a say. I think that's the answer.
Yes.
We were used to not having a... You see now, your kid's going to ask for like some iPad to play with or something to keep them... What?
Yep.
You think our parents cared about keeping busy? What did we have to keep busy?
Yep.
I've been sitting in my auntie's house doing nothing for 5 hours straight.
Yeah. But what did we do then? I mean, you would watch cartoons on a Saturday morning for a couple hours, then watch Knight Rider, then Murder, She Wrote, and then play with your friends in the local park.
I was flicking channels the other day and it went on to Simpsons and I had to put code in for the Simpsons.
So that's Simpsons got code now.
Because it's an adult show.
Yeah.
Do you know how man was watching Simpsons as a kid as a cartoon? My parents didn't realise that.
They asked for the code.
Yeah. So that means that whatever's in there is not suitable for kids under a certain age. And so imagine that. Like, when it wasn't until I got older I realised that Simpsons was an adult cartoon.
It's an adult
Most
cartoon.
of them are though.
Most of them are, yeah.
Listen, you know, when you watch cartoons with your kids, you're laughing differently.
Yeah.
You know, like... I know what that joke's about. They're laughing, but they don't know what laughing about. You don't know the joke. You don't know what's going on here. I would say definitely, I believe, and a lot of people will come for me. I think it was easier back then. I think now there's a lot more pressure to keep your kids up with the Joneses. The standard is higher. Wearing Nike trainers, having an iPhone, an iPad, maybe a watch. Yeah. Kids are now they want to do makeup and all of that to go to school. Plus they have total access to the internet, which means you can't even hide them from certain lifestyles.
So back in the day, you was only exposed to your locality, basically.
To what your
everyone
parents
in that
showed you.
region, exactly that. But now because of the internet, it's like, now Balenciaga trainers to school is a quote unquote norm because that's what you see on social media.
That's right.
Yeah, it's actually crazy. Like my son, he's at school, he's learning Latin. And I was like, what is this? What is, like, bruv, I was struggling with English at your age. And I was trying to learn a whole new thing.
Comes up, it's like temet noche. It's like, what?
And then like, he's like, I got to do my French report. And he started searching like images. And I was like, this ain't, no, I know what I'm doing. Like, and it's just like, these things that took us so long to they know it standard. Like my 4-year-old we gave her a phone. It was like, it's normal to her. She can open the phone. She knows how to type her PIN. She knows what she wants to go on. And it's just like, these things are so dangerous. Like I was speaking to my next door neighbor at my old place, and she's like, her daughter's just turned 15, and she's like, getting the phone off a 15-year-old has been the hardest process. And so her one tip for me was, don't let the kids, like, from now, get an alarm clock.
Yeah.
Don't let the kids take the phone to bed. Don't let them, because they get so addicted to it. You see it in America
a
now
drug.
with these teachers and the kids fighting because the teacher took the phone from the kid.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Like, but the kids are the phone has become their everything, that they're ready to, they act like irrational beings.
That's it.
Like once the phone is gone.
Yeah.
And so we have to put that, because sometimes, don't get me wrong, you want the peace and quiet, bro.
Yeah.
Like, bro, man just wants a breath.
Yeah.
Like, can I just sit down and eat my food while it's still hot? Is that okay?
Yeah, when one of my boys, he was like one of the first in the crew to have kids.
Yeah.
And I remember his son was 4. And, you know, we have these boys' nights, so we'll sit down, we talk as men and share stuff. And I remember he's like, I got my son an iPad. And we were like, what? Like, no, you can't do that. And then we had kids. We had kids. And you give them an iPad, you'll give them your mobile phone to get some peace.
One 5% battery.
Well, yeah, just
Let them
take
run
it and calm. But obviously there are a lot of sort of parental things you can
you
put
gotta
on the
manage-
phone
you gotta manage it.
to limit it and that. But it's funny you saying that, because I was just saying I think it's harder back in the day. But I suppose kids are coming home more knowledgeable of their homework and stuff now.
Yeah.
You know, like my dad had to know short division, long division. I can't even think of a maths thing I brought to him. He didn't know how to do.
Because he had to be able to tell you.
He had to tell you now.
Don't have to.
Now, mixed fractions. Oh, hold on, Bree. Let me put on YouTube. We'll watch it together. And figure out what this
I have
thing
to go
is.
study that one in silence. Let me come back to
Yeah,
you. Let's look
yeah.
at this one tomorrow. You're up and late at night.
Studying.
But the good thing is, the honest truth is that there's videos for everything. That's one thing I found. Like,
Yeah, sick.
there's a video for everything. Anything
Yeah.
you want, there's a video for it. You can watch
Yeah.
it, and then you just explain it to your child and go through it. And so the internet that way is good. But like you said, like now your child is no longer just compared. Like before, it was just in the area. Like me and my friends, we grew up poor, not knowing that we grew up poor.
Yes.
Because everybody was poor.
That's
Do you
it.
understand what I'm trying to say?
It was the norm, yeah.
But now you go online and everyone's driving Lambos. Everyone, like my kid's favorite Mr. Beast or whatever, like this guy that just gives away money.
Yeah.
Like they think these things is
Prime
normal.
drinks, all
Like
of that. Yeah.
the drinks, all of these, like KSI.
Because you're right, you know, because for me growing up, there wasn't poverty.
Come on.
It was my dad's tight.
Yeah.
Because there was rationale behind it.
Yeah.
Why should I buy you Nike when I can give you this high tech or Knicks? Because dad, when I jump off the wall, my feet stinks because the sole is plastic, no rubber. But it was just him.
Yeah.
He's making that choice. Like, no, I'm prioritizing money for this, for that, as opposed to that. Whereas now, the stipulation will be like, right, mom or dad, are we poor that we can't have these things?
And it's like you say, it's that education, isn't it? Because I always say, like, back in the day, you don't actually, if you've got African parents especially, you don't know if your parents are rich or not.
Yeah.
Because there's no is no and there's nothing after that.
That's it.
It ends there. Do you know what I'm
Yes,
trying to say? Oh,
yes.
I ain't got to give you a reason.
That's it.
Well, I'm saying you ain't getting
You're just
new
lucky
crepes.
if you have it and I
Exactly
don't.
that.
You know what I mean? You finessed your parents, not that we don't have the money.
Yeah.
So true. But so what do you think? Do you think easier now or easier then?
I've probably got to think about it a bit longer, but I think to a certain degree, life as a parent was harder back then, but parenting
Yes. I like that.
be harder today.
Yes.
Having to deal with everything that the world brings.
Yes.
But life as a parent, as in what they had to do while they were parenting.
Yeah.
I mean, a lot of them are fresh in this country. Like everybody done their cleaning jobs or
Yeah.
their
Entry
post
level.
office
Yeah.
or whatever it may be. You know what I'm trying to say? So I think
The
life
mold
as a
would have
parent,
been broken.
exactly that. But yeah, man.
And we got remote working as well.
Oh.
They didn't
have
have
that,
that,
yeah.
you know. But yeah, that was a good diplomatic answer. I like that.
Yeah.
So the life of being a parent back then was harder, but parenting your child generally was
Hard enough.
it's harder now. Yeah.
It's like, I just feel like when I think about it, like my son is 11 years old. At 11 years old, I was going to school by myself.
Yeah.
Then after I finished school, I go pick up my sisters, come home, boil rice. Like, do you see what I'm saying?
Even dealing with boiling water.
even like,
Yeah,
can you imagine
yeah.
lighting a match? Like I could never think of my 11-year-old lighting a match.
Gas
I would
cooker.
never.
Like,
Gas
what?
cooker.
Turn
Like,
it off. Yeah.
these are things that was standard.
Yeah, man.
Standard.
Yeah,
And
man.
you come home and there's no one home.
Yes.
Your parents are still at work.
Yes.
These men are hustling.
Yes.
So you come home, boil rice, make sure there's rice when they come home. Take the stew from the fridge, put it in the microwave. Chicken from the freezer, put it in the microwave so that there's food for everyone.
Wash up.
Wash up. You have to
Because
wash.
your parents come home, the house better be tidy.
Has to be clean.
You know what's funny though? Like, I don't know about you, but I don't even remember them calling at like 4:30. Are you home? Is everything okay? Nah, I'll see you when I get
What?
in.
The thing is, if you're not in when they get back,
Yes. Someone come knock for you. I can't come out. But your mom's not in or your dad's not in. Like, listen, bro.
I better be here when they get back.
Yeah.
Better be in this yard.
Yeah.
Like, and so it's mad. So when you think about like now the responsibility, like I think I don't know if it's just what we've seen in the world and all the horror stories, and maybe that's why like information we get, like stuff was happening back then, but maybe you didn't know about it. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Sometimes when I watch these true crime stuff and like that happened, and I'm like, I don't remember this. I don't remember ever hearing about this. Do you know what I mean? Because unless you watch the news at a specific time or whatever, you wouldn't find out. Whereas now the update comes to your phone every second. You get told anything that's happening. So you're so much more aware of the evil that is in the world, that you now want to protect your child from that. So now you become so much more cautious.
Yes.
Whereas before we didn't really know about stuff.
Yeah.
Right.
Do you know what I mean? And no one really spoke about it. So you're like, I never felt in danger coming home. Like me and my little sisters coming, I never felt in danger. We got on the bus, we came home. No, I never thought, oh, someone might kidnap her. It never ever crossed my mind
like that.
at any time.
But do you think though that parenting style created the kids who then became parents that parent in a different way that many of us may not agree with? So in a very diplomatic way, what I'm saying is created parents who had kids early, who had the broken homes, whose kids became the gangster on the block, the ones who didn't really see value in education, soft in the hustle, you know. Did that parenting style create that? Because maybe per se they weren't so involved. Whereas now, where it's almost like that's trying to be rectified. You got to know your kids' slang, what they're up to, who are their friends, what are they doing. I don't know if that's the cause, but I just feel like we were left alone so much then. If the parenting style of your parents didn't carry on in their absence, it was easy to sway.
Yeah, no, I completely agree. And I think that one thing that they did have was that they were obviously operating in a time which I believe was difficult. But one thing they did really well was create a community. In some cases, more community than we've got. So like, I used to spend like 6 weeks at my cousin's house.
Yeah.
And you could argue that my parents ain't heard from you all that time, but I'm at my cousin's house and it would be vice versa as well.
They were living soft life. So they dropped off for 6 weeks.
Bro,
go and enjoy summer.
I dropped off. I made my way bus, southeast to northwest. Like 2.7 hours.
Yeah.
With a bag.
Like,
all of my clothes
enjoy
in.
yourself, yeah. We'll see you soon.
And then we'd be bouncing around different cousins' houses. So, like, there's that community.
There was that community. You had your aunties,
which does help,
your uncles.
say. So it's really like using the village.
I agree with the community thing, but also when I look back, one thing I did see was fathers.
Yes.
Like, as much as I feel like...
You say what, more then than now?
Yeah.
Serious?
My friends, 90% of my friends, I knew their dad.
Yeah.
I knew their dad.
Yeah.
Like, as in, I had seen their dad. I had interactions with their dad.
Wow.
Whereas now...
most of your friends were African.
Yeah.
Probably...
So, but growing up, but then I realized that most of my friends, when I talk about close friends, was church as well. So it's a different environment.
Yes.
It wasn't until I got to like secondary school that I realized, oh, wow, this is not normal.
Yeah,
like, do you know what I mean? Like
the mum and dad
thing is
unit
is not normal. And I think one of the big things I think when we think about the kids today that we have to change, I think like, and one of the things I love about you as well is active fathers. Yeah. Like, it's not good enough just to be a dad and just to send money. Like,
no,
that ain't fatherhood. Do you know what I mean? Be involved. Like, know your children. Let your children have a relationship with them. Like, so that they can talk to you. And both sides. One thing I love about you, as much as you got your daughters and you're nice to them, when it's time, I know you turn up. Like, do you know what I mean? And I know you're ready. Like,
that's what's up.
And it's important. Do you know what I mean?
To have that balance.
To have that balance, because I know as a father, and obviously we're all fathers. I know as a father with my kids, there's stuff like my oldest son going to secondary school. Like, his mum picked him up after school. Then I come. When I've now told her. He's like, he didn't tell me that. There are things that he told me about his day that he wouldn't tell his mum.
Right.
Just because our relationship
is different. Yes,
you see what I'm saying?
Yes.
So the things that...
Which is a good thing.
It's a good thing. The points that he would want to tell me is different from the points he'd want to tell his mum.
Facts.
And so it's so important that there's those avenues there, and I
Yeah,
feel like
yeah.
that's something that we've got to create. No matter, as much as we want to, you know, protect them, like just sending them to nice places or buying them nice stuff or giving them things is not going to replace us as fathers.
Nah, big time. I feel it's interesting you say that, because I had a lot of friends, because I had two sides. I went to church a lot, evangelist church, collection time, music runs for half an hour, you know, go around the circle, drop by the pot comes down, you got to put money in.
Yeah.
But then I also had the friends from the local area, you know, and a lot of them, that was single mum homes, you know. So then I ended up growing up in a single parent home. I grew up with just my dad. So that was a deep transition. But what I used to hear, because there was so many like single parent homes I knew, it was like this stereotype of fathers, especially black fathers, are not around. Black men are not there, they're absent. But what I find today is, like you said, I'm an active dad. And I look at all of my friends. I look at Outer Circle, I look at you guys, people that I meet. Most of the dads are active. I'm seeing a lot more activity. Of course, there's maybe the level of how, you know, it's like what you said, sending money.
Yeah.
And I have my kid this day, that day, and it stops there. There's not that, if it's not your day, you go and pick up the kid. And I'm talking about co-parenting homes. Do you see what I mean? But I definitely feel like I'm seeing real, like, dads. Like, I'm almost trying to see, where are these absent dads? I don't see it as much as I've heard. I'm seeing a lot, and especially black, I'm seeing a lot more black men, black dads being accountable and doing it, and enjoyably doing it.
Yeah. I love that.
But I'm sure the comments will
the comments
will speak otherwise.
Yeah.
What's he talking about, man?
Yeah, no.
Yeah.
I hear you. And on that note,
For real.
listen, you've heard the bass. Once you heard the bass,
That waking up voice.
we know who's in the house.
Yes.
Entrepreneur. That's how I know him. Entrepreneur, businessman. Also now TV personality, radio, the voice that you cannot like forget when you hear it on the voiceover. My brother, Kwame Badu, man.
Big up, man.
Welcome to the
Welcome, bro.
podcast,
Thank you
man.
for coming on, man.
Listen, this is my bread and butter, man.
Come on, man. We're gonna get into that. Still,
Come
I'm
on.
excited.
Bread and
No, I'm
butter,
excited,
man.
man.
And you know, I just want to say as well, big up. It's nice meeting you as well, Tayo. And man, I mean, I think before we even first met,
Come on.
I was a fan of yours, because you want to see other men who are in their business and make it look cool.
Come on.
You know, making money, having family, having that foundation, doing a hustle with wifey, all of that. Love to see it, and you've always done that. So, like-minded, man. Birds of a feather draw together. So, I appreciate being there, man. And wicked intro, by the way. I might have to record that.
Record that.
Set that. Yeah. Put as the Alexa alarm.
No, you know what it is that for me, it's like, I always tell people, man knows Kwame from way back.
Yeah.
Like, I mean, when I first come on socials, 6 years ago?
Yeah.
That's where we met from then.
Yeah. That's
First, when we doing events, going around doing
Yeah,
events, like
yeah.
we've got similar friends.
Similar
Obviously, we're
acquaintances and that.
both from East, so we've got similar friends and stuff like that. And so we've connected on that. And then I've always known him as a businessman. And I just remember Kwame just messaged me. Yeah, I never forget this message. He lands on my phone, and he says, "I'm going to be doing something different, and I just want to let you know that there's a plan to it." And that was it. He didn't tell me nothing else.
Yeah.
And I sit down, I look at my television, I say, "Oh my goodness,
Yeah. What's he gonna do?
This is what it is."
Yeah.
But this must have been. I'm talking months before it happened. Like before it comes on TV. Like it's like I'm just trying to. Kwame, what made you? Like obviously, let's talk about you first.
Yes.
I know you as a businessman.
Yeah.
How did you get into business? How did that come about for you?
Yeah. So
No, I was just gonna say this is even good for me, and this is why this episode I think is gonna work so well, because you know Kwame, the businessman, entrepreneur first.
Yes.
I know the TV personality first.
Two different people, two different sides.
So we're gonna merge
Oh,
them
what
into
it
one
said.
today.
Yeah, no doubt. No, you know the funny thing. I was fortunate enough to work. Sales is my thing.
Yeah.
So I was fortunate enough to work in recruitment. And recruitment is one of those businesses that you're working for a company, but you're working for yourself.
Yes.
You have your clients, you know the game. So it gave me that independence. And then you work very closely with payroll. So you begin to understand how much money is drawing into the company versus how much you take home.
Yeah.
You know, and I was watching a video recently where the guy was saying he worked for an investment bank and he was clearing like 5-7 million. But the investment bank owner was clearing 200 million, you know, and it's about what side of the equation do you want to be on? You can be happy with that. And like I always say, I know many employees rather, that they're good.
Yeah,
the money they make, the lifestyle, great. It works for them, you know. But for me, what I was doing, I was between 27, 29K. And I knew I was earning my company 5 times that, just me alone. You know, as we say in my language, Minkwa, I was getting them about 200K easily, depending on figures. And I was in a room full of maybe 7 other people like me, recruitment consultants that were doing it. So I remember saying to them, this was in Haringey, like, yo, if we just set off and made our own, we've got the contacts with the job centers, the providers. We've got contacts with the government. We know how to get the funding. Let's do this. But it weren't their time. It weren't their journey. I got frustrated at one point, and so I made my own and just basically started making money from it. And I was working with ex-offenders, lone parents, 16 to 24-year-olds. And my whole MO was getting them into work.
Wow. Sick.
And when you do something that you're good at, you don't do it for free, of course, and you get paid. And the payment you're getting trumps what you're getting from where they're telling you what to do, when to do it. It's empowering.
Yeah.
You know, it's scary, but it's empowering. It took me 3 years, Emma, to eventually go off on my own in terms of leave the company I was working for fully and do it on my own. I was damn near almost pushed out because it was a conflict of interest.
Yes.
They were seeing, I started getting noticed. I got a contract with Debenhams.
Yeah.
And that finished me.
Of course.
Yeah.
You know? Yeah. So that's what really pushed me there. But once I did that, I'm talking the properties I purchased, the things I really learned about money, you know, and myself came from those years.
Yeah.
And so I had so many people that would come to my office. It's funny, me and the missus were in Canary Wharf today, and I was telling her how my office used to be just around there. People used to just come and visit me to ask me, how do you do this? I want to do it too.
Yeah.
And I started giving so much of that time away.
Yeah.
Because I want everyone to win.
Yeah.
But, you know, sometimes I'm like, man, I've got work to do. I just spent 2 hours talking to that guy, 1 hour on the phone to that one. So I was like, maybe I should monetize this as well and help other people grow. And that's when I now started doing YouTube videos. I wrote ebooks. I started pushing out angles to help others. And that's where you and I on socials then connected, and then obviously at the networking events. So, and it was as simple as that, you know.
And did you enjoy it? Did you enjoy that?
Absolutely loved it. You know, like, listen, the money was, of course, fantastic.
Of course.
Listen, you know, like, it was the first time in my life I was able to experience not worrying. Like, I go out with my friends, I'll get the drinks. We go on holiday, we budgeted for £700 expenses. It's 1,200. I just had to go to the bank and take more out. I could, you know, I remember debating with myself what things I wanted to buy I could afford. But because of my upbringing, it seemed wrong. You know, I saw that it was a Burberry jacket, £1,000 for a flipping leather jacket. Yeah. I couldn't bring myself to buy it because the way I've been brought up, what are you spending 1K on that? But I could afford it, you know? And it was the best thing. But I didn't feel fulfilled because I was like, things I wanted to now do, some of my circle couldn't do it as well. They're either still working 9 to 5. I'm free Tuesday afternoon. They're not. You know, let's go on a holiday. It took a while before we were all in a similar place of freedom to be able to do it, you know. But of course, there are downsides to entrepreneurism. And I always tell people, you gotta have several hustles because not everything is forever. things dip, peaks and troughs, you know. But that was definitely my motive, man.
No.
On earning more money as an entrepreneur, which is a great thing to do, because that's the idea. Like you mentioned, I think one thing that you mentioned, which a lot of people is good for them to hear, is that doing something you love is one thing.
Yeah.
Doing something you love and earning more than you did in your 9 to 5 is bliss. And it's great to see that you got there. Would you say that earning more money was just empowering for you? Like you felt like you were just in more control of life and decisions and whatnot?
Absolutely. There was a time when I was living in my parents' home, you know, or an elder's place. And even at one point, Emma, I had kids. You know, I had both my girls. They were like very, very young, you know, just born. But I owned the property. I owned the flat, but I was renting it out. So I didn't want to break that. I didn't want to touch that. I was like, I need to get a whole new house, you know, and keep that going. You know, it wasn't quite at a place where, you know, I got the equity I wanted to get from it, you know. So for me, it was so empowering now to get my own place, decorate it the way I want, you know. As an African child, growing up in my parents' house, they told you what to do, how loud you play the music, you know, this, that, and the other. I had total freedom. This was me, you know, and I was next to, you know, when the neighbors come and greet you when you move into a new road, and they're grown folk. And they're looking at you, we look young anyway, but they're thinking I'm some 24-year-old youth, probably a shutter, top boy, you know, how you get in this property. But it was hella empowering, you know. And then, you know, I grew up on the 20th floor in a tower building. So to then have my kids have their own room, have a garden, have a drive or whatever, you know, and buy them what they want and pay for a holiday. Man, that's life. You want to live, not survive, you know? Mm-hmm.
Buying your own property, as in that first home, because a lot of people aren't keen on buying property as a whole. They feel like money should be put in other places. But I guess being a family man as well, it does feel like it gives you that kind of security, basically, isn't it?
Yeah, you know what? For me, look, man, I'll tell you this straight, Tayo. I got this, I can't remember who said this advice, but they said, whatever you want, see the person. It might have been him, you know, that said it. But look at somebody who is where you want to be.
Yeah.
Buy what they've written and study it. Yeah. They're basically going to tell you where they went right and where they went wrong. Was it you?
I did say
Probably.
that. I think I did say that.
Yeah.
Well, I think I got it from Byron.
Oh, okay.
Okay,
Yeah, Byron.
Yeah. Because it's so simple, but it's like you got to take the time to read the books, you know. I don't even read as much as I should, you know. I've still got to get to your book. I got to finish 2 books and then I'm on to yours, you know, get your money right. But it was from reading that, Rich Dad Poor Dad was my first one. That was, my mum gave me that book.
Oh, Rob.
Credit to her.
Yeah,
She gave me that book, yeah.
They got Mumsy.
Yeah, Mumsy for that. I was reading Dan Brown, Da Vinci Code.
Yeah,
Okay.
And she was like, you know, and I loved that book. It was really interesting. But that wasn't teaching me nothing. You know, just the Holy Grail, you know, mythology. Man was like, oh, read this book. I was like, this is more schooling. But I read it, couldn't put the book down. And he was just talking about how really wealth is and how the wealth live and whatnot. And all of it was about property. Buy yourself property. God isn't making no more land. And not only is it nice to live in your own place, but when you see the money you can make from a property, bro, at the right time, you know, don't get it twisted. I think the first property I had to wait, I think I bought it, 2007. I didn't sell it till 2014, 2015. So like 7 years, bro, you know, and it stayed at a certain level for a long time. But when it went up nice. And then there was so much competition for my property. The lady that came to take it she added like extra 20, 30 on top of what other people were asking for. And I used that now to go, right, family home, set now. So it's always been about property. It always should be about property, you know. And I say this for anyone listening: if you live in a council property and you've got that discount, please
Tell them.
use it, because to own a property in London is mad. I think someone was just telling me recently they're paying £1,600 per month for a flat, a 2-bedroom flat in Collindale, rent. If you own that property and you're paying £800 mortgage and someone is paying you even £1,500 on top to rent that place, that's £700 in your pocket. In your pocket. Like I reached one point and I was like, you could retire on this. If you have a portfolio of homes that you're renting out, you can retire on that. You're making good money. So for me, it's the only way.
Yeah.
Love that. So talk to me about, you send this message. When does it even click in your head that, okay, I'm going to do something extreme? Because that's what you said. I want to do something extreme.
Yeah.
In order to make a big difference.
Yeah.
Why? What made you? What happened? Where were you at in life?
Yeah.
That you said, you know what, I'm gonna do, because like you said, from everything you just said now, it sounded like life was good.
Yeah.
You had everything you wanted. Yeah. Everything was going well.
Yeah.
What made you want to flip the switch and make a change?
And break down what you did, because listen, everybody knows the show and everybody should know who you are. But there might be those few in between people that don't know the show. So just break it down flat.
Okay, so the show's Married at First Sight. And I'll be honest with you. The motive was never reality TV. Admittedly, back in 2012, I applied for The Apprentice. I was doing so much talk about business. Everyone said, you should apply for that. You'll be good in it. Because you got the personality for TV, you do business, no brainer. And I actually applied. I got through to the last round. And then they told me I wasn't good enough.
They missed out. I can't tell
Nah,
them.
you would have smashed it.
They missed out.
You would have smashed it.
They missed out.
And you know what? I've had the pleasure of meeting Tim Campbell several times. Lovely guy.
Really nice guy.
Really, and he was someone I looked up to. That I said, I want to do what he did, But apart from that, reality TV was never the motive. But I remember everything I've mentioned was a goal for me in 2007, in 2010, in 2012. It was, I want my kids living in a house. I want to drive a BMW. I want to travel the world. That was it. And then after that is, I want more of that now. I want another place. I went through a divorce. So it meant me leaving the home for the kids and their mum. So I needed now to get a property again for myself. I needed now to get my money up. I needed now to do more things for myself. So it reached a point where that lifestyle sort of plateaued. It got a bit bored. Coupled with that, the business environment for me changed. My recruitment company was based a lot on government funding. Labour were very nice. They said, we care about the poor people. So if you can help them, we'll fund you to do it. And they threw the money. And you got to follow the money. I read the signs and I saw that, capitalized on it and earned it. Then Chris Grayling, conservative Tories came in and they changed that. So now I made a consultancy company. And that was good, coupled with also working in a family business, which was the care company. But it wasn't enough. So I spoke to the Most High. And I said I think this was probably like October 2021, I think it was. And I said, I'm doing talk shows. I make music. I've got podcasts. I'm out here on socials every day. I don't feel enough people are seeing me. I want to get out there more. I don't know what, but big man, help me, innit? Lay something down for me. So I think it may have been about 2 months later, when I was single, when the Married at First Sight people then sent me a DM.
Oh, wow.
And they were like, listen, we've looked through your profile. You seem interesting. We think you'll be great for our show. Would you be interested to come on? So I actually posted that DM on my stories and did a poll.
Oh, seriously?
I did, yeah. I did
Get
a
your
poll.
audience involved.
Yeah, because I just thought, how would people think of me doing it? This is totally different. I'm known for how to get a contract, how to start a business, book an office. Now me going on this, 80% said do it. Then I had the 20% say, hey, Kwame, don't sell your soul to the devil. Don't do it, So I thought about it, and I thought, you know what? I'm actually single now. I can do it. And then, so I messaged them back and I said, yeah, let's go. It wasn't until coming up to the actual start date
I can imagine.
that I was like, what the hell have I signed up for? Like, this is a mazza. And I never really watched Married at First Sight. I'm never going to lie to you. I just saw a chance for me to go on TV. So that's why when people are like, oh, you went on there for clout. I'm like, actually, who is not going on TV for clout? We're all attractive people. Yes, if you can find a nice partner and bonus. But you all want to get blue ticked. You all want to get the boohoo, the pretty little thing contracts. I'm not ashamed to say, yo, give me that. Do you know what I mean? Give me that exposure. And if I manage to find a nice partner as well, come on now. Do you know what I mean? And in all truthness, the more I went through the process of before going on the show, the more I did actually start believing, these guys, they're not playing. It's not just pair you up with someone. There's proper psychoanalysis, questions. They dig deep into your persona, set aside from all the checks that they do on you. It's like applying for MI6, So a lot of that made me think, maybe, but you then realize later it's all entertainment.
Yeah.
So it's better to give you different for what you ask for, because it's the shock value and how you respond, and then I said to someone the other day, if everyone went on the show and was in love and happy,
it wouldn't get views.
It'd be dead ratings. People go, this is dead blood. Let's watch that. Let's go Love Island. Let's watch that. You want to see the drama. So, you know.
You feel like they match you up with someone with, like, your complete opposite, basically?
They
just didn't listen?
Yeah, they didn't. They listened. They heard me, but they didn't listen.
Okay.
But at the same time, you see, for me, bro, number one, I'm glad they did for many, many reasons. And two, if you're a real one, you got to know it's a business. They're not out here trying to make more love in the world. It's a hustle. Channel 4 will kick you off if you're not making enough money, if you don't get enough ratings. It's got to be entertaining. So that's why there's differences, If you heard the kind of man Tom was looking for, it definitely weren't Adrian, and vice versa. Whitney, for so many people, there were a lot of differences. And then the argument was based on the fact that we're trying to give you what you need, not what you want.
Yeah.
So then you wonder why they ask you what you want in the first place. But that's another story.
My goodness.
Yeah.
So, obviously, explain the show for people that haven't watched the show.
Right.
What's the concept? How does it work?
Yeah. So, hence the name, Married at First Sight. It means you meet people, you meet your partner at the aisle. As a man or the groom, you're at the aisle waiting, and the first time you'll see your partner is right at the aisle. You have experts who you explain to them, leading up to the show, starting. You would explain to them the type of person you look for, personality traits, etc., with the hope of them finding you that match. Yeah. The realism is you have to know that's based on who's applied, who's in the reservoir bank, if you like. That. So they can only find you as close to who's there. And then they may also look at you and decide what you're asking for is the very reason you're single. Yeah. You're saying you want Beyonce when really you need Margaret Thatcher. No, that's it. It could be the complete opposite to what you feel. So that's the premise behind it. So they do make it clear that, look, although you are stating all of these things about what you're looking for, don't be surprised if the person you meet at the aisle is different. When you meet them, you then go on a honeymoon, and the aim is, should you still want to stay with each other each week, you would then stay for a total of 6 to 8 weeks in an apartment where there's consistent filming, and every week you're in front of the experts where you decide whether you wish to stay another week or leave. Okay. And both of you have to decide to leave, to come out. Yeah. So if I want to stay and Iman wants to leave, we stay. So that's what makes it, I think, such an intriguing show.
And it was very intriguing. I think your series was the first series I'd ever watched.
You know what? I hear a lot of, especially the brothers, say that. A lot of brothers say, yo, bro, I watched it because of you for both reasons. You were triggering my wife, and I love that. Or what I hear, that's the funniest is, bro, do you know what? I don't usually watch shows like that. But, you know, I'm like, it's all right, bro.
It's alright. It's
Okay,
alright.
man's allowed to watch what man's
Yeah,
Right,
come on, man.
still.
Especially if you're in a relationship and you got a partner.
Come on.
Yeah, there's a lot to take from it as a man too, you know. But I just love the way they always start with that line. I don't usually watch it, but I saw you on the show. The missus was watching it.
I was
And
walking by.
yeah.
I just waited a little bit.
That's it. And wifey pulled me, and so I saw it, and then man got hooked in it.
Man, don't have to be honest. Not every day Terminator Rambo. Like,
That's
man,
it.
Man
Sometimes
watch other
love.
things like
Yeah.
and football. Man watch other things.
That's
okay.
it. That's it.
But tell me, as I was watching, and
Yeah.
I know you, number one, I know you as a person.
Yeah.
I also know you from social media, and you have a strong ladies man brand.
Fam, look at your shirt, fam.
Oh,
Velvet,
wow.
6 months
Yeah,
down.
Yeah. I'm sweating in it
Man,
too.
look
It's
at-
very hot, you know.
Man, they're looking like Quality Street. You know what I'm
That's
saying?
what's up, man. The one that when you peel it,
Come on.
you get the caramel
Come on.
inside.
It's like, that's what, he knew what he was doing. So, when we've now watched the show, how much of this are you just saying for content? How many are you just saying like, you're like, I want to go viral, so I'm going to say this? Or is that your actual... Because some of the... Obviously, you know, the edit can do anything.
Sure.
The edit could do everything.
But
They can't put
you,
words
you
in
can't
your
put... You still have to say the words.
That's right.
So how much of it, just for the people at home so they know, how much of it was you thinking, okay, I'm on this thing, I want to make the most of it, let me say whatever that might potentially go
Do you know
viral.
what's actually funny, man? Yeah. I know this for a fact. And if you know me like you hang out with me a lot, I am known for I just speak my mind. I will say things. I'm a bit cheeky. I'm a bit cocky. I'll say this, but I'm a lovable guy. But yeah, I will say things, especially like if I'm ticked off. But here's the thing. If you're on a show or if you're filming someone, period, there's going to be lines you're going to say that if I grab that alone and I show the world, it's going to be like, right, is that how Tayo is? Because at one moment, maybe wifey's asked you something like, oh, babes, you know, I want to go out to eat. And you're thinking, I've taken you out 5 times. I'm tired. I'm not really in the mood this weekend. I want to go with my boys. But, oh, babes, man, again, dinner. If I just capture that line and I show the world, it's like, hey, is that how he dismisses his woman? But they won't show the other 5 times when you've done it. You've even asked her to go and so forth. So it's definitely editing. It's very, you know, an easy example is I said to somebody, if I come and film you on the first date and on your journey to the date in the car, the woman turns up late. So you're waiting outside the car, you're upset. Then she gets in the car, there isn't really vibes. You get to the restaurant goes cool, and then you catch a joke and you have an amazing time. Then you drop her home, you kiss her on the cheek, you go home, she goes indoors and you drive home. I could display that night in any way I want. I could focus on, I show you waiting outside. Where's this girl? You know, then in the car, no music, and play that music they put in the background. Dun, 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 dun. And both of you, Emmanuel and are not talking much, right? You know, or I can show him just picking you up in the car, switch straight to the dinner where you're having jokes at the table thing, and then you say goodbye. He's a gentleman. So really, you got to know. And if you've ever edited footage of anything, you can edit this and make me look like a bad guy or a lovable guy. Do you see what I mean? So the power is always in the edits, you know. But I'm not going to sit and say, I said some things. Even I watched back and I was like, rah.
What did you watch? What did you watch back and say like, rah? Tell us.
Deal with it. That was the first one. I was like, that's gangster, bro. I said, deal with it. But I also remember what led up to that point. You see, when you're filming, you do get frustrated. You know, like you'll start filming 8 a.m. You know, this is now 3 p.m. You've not really eaten much, but you've got to turn up. The cameras are on. It's your time now. Walk in. You walk in, you're in a vibe. And I remember we got there and we had sat down, and because we were like the last to walk in, all the Prosecco had been done. So all that was there was beer. You know, I don't really drink beer, you know. And it was just a couple things were said. I don't want to go into it, but little lines. So I was a little bit like, you know. So when that bit came, it was a bit like, oh, so after all of that now, I must go and get you a drink. Oh, get your own drink. Deal with it. Obviously, looking back, I'd have dealt with that a lot differently. You know, they got it in the moment. But I could see the cameramen, the producers going, fantastic. Great. Grab this. Yeah, post it up. Do you know what I mean?
We got it.
There you go.
Ladies and gentlemen, we got it.
We've got him. And there were some ones like that. I mean, the one about when I said the holiday, right? When I said first and foremost, I need a holiday.
Yeah. Remind the people though, just in case they can't.
Oh, they know, man.
Set the scene.
They know.
I'm
sat with the mum, and the mum's asking me, you know, am I looking forward to the next couple of weeks, and how am I feeling and that. And I genuinely was saying, I'm looking forward to the holiday. But there was so much conversation. I mean, the wedding thing itself, they start 9 p.m. and finished about 11 at night. That's the wedding day alone. So they've got hours and hours of footage, you know. But that was the one point I said something that was good for TV. They didn't grab all the other convos. So the way it looks like is we were sat on the table, cheers, toasted. I went and sat with the mum. She asked me why I go on, and I said, yeah, I'm looking forward to a holiday. And that was it, you know. So when you're watching the show back, and I know there's the new season starting now, and I know the new cast members will relate to this very shortly. You're watching it back real time, as everyone else is. And when you see how they've edited it, half the time you're like, did I really say that? And the next time you're like, yo, what happened to this scene, that scene, that scene? But, you know, there is a lot of an agenda of what would be good entertainment? You know, he'll look good as a bit of a bit of a bad guy, a bit of a villain. It's very easy to then capture those moments and do it. So if you're having a 3-hour conversation, it's very easy to just grab one and, you know, when that makes you look like a bit of a bad guy.
Well, you haven't mentioned the thing that really that got me almost sleeping on the sofa.
Oh, you serious?
God.
I know people got in trouble from watching the show.
No, I got him because my wife knows that I know. So,
yeah. So talk to your boy.
She said, "Look at your friend. Look what your friend is doing."
What was it? Which part?
The park.
Park bench.
Park bench.
I remember the scene, but I can't remember how it went down.
The park bench wasn't my option.
Now, so obviously now everyone go to each other's house, right? So you get
homestay.
I remember the park bench.
Yeah. The homestay.
My wife was so vexed, bro.
Yeah.
So everyone gets. So you went to hers, and then obviously I think her sisters and friends were there.
Yep. In fact, actually, that was after. My homestay was first. And then it was hers, which again was very intelligent of them. You know, you see the producers work afterwards. But yeah, so the way it works is you're supposed to take them home for them to see your family and that. So firstly, my family ain't trying to get involved in the TV show. Yeah, that was number one. So things of having my mom, my sis, my dad, rest in peace, for him to be there, they told me from jump, I'm not trying to be on the show. If everything works out for you and it's all good, you can bring her home, So there was that aspect. And secondly, I'd made it clear from the offset, I didn't want, because I have my kids living with me, I didn't want to show where I live. I didn't want to show my home, which they were cool with. So at the beginning of the show, they found me an Airbnb.
Yes.
So they filmed me in there and I'm getting ready. I'm even wearing Ankara, doing a little dance, shaving, doing sweet boy life, you know? So it was great. This was supposed to happen again for the homestay. They were supposed to now get me, you know, an apartment or something. And we would go back there. She would cook dinner or whatever. My boys would come around, X, Y, and Z. Last minute, the producers knocked on the apartment door. We staying out, come to the door. They're like, Kwame, do you know what? We tried to get you an Airbnb, but we couldn't get it for you, unfortunately. But we have spoken to the local authority and we have permission to use the park. Now...
No, we can't be off that straight away.
Yeah.
We can't get you...
An apartment,
but
we've got your park. Now, here's the thing, Tayo. This is what's funny. what you have to understand, when you're on a TV show, yeah, it's a different world, Charlie. Like, you realize things after they've happened.
No, facts.
It's like you're switched on. And me as a black man on the show, I was constantly switched on. I want to show black men aren't sex craved. We're not players. We're not rude and foul-mouthed. We are intellectuals. We dress well, X, Y, and Z, you know. But you can't always be watching them like they're out to get me or they're trying to pull one over on me. So this was one time, okay, I relaxed. So when they told me that, I didn't really...
You didn't think about...
Yeah, I thought, part minor. I didn't know I didn't see the bigger picture. And they're the ones who suggested it to me. So you're like, this is your thing. Now, I must admit, what I was guilty for is had I watched the show religiously before going on, I would have realized how integral that part is.
Like I say, if yours was the only one and there was only one park stay, it would have meant nothing.
Right.
It was the park stay amongst 6 other homestays.
Now,
everybody else went to the yard.
Yeah.
No. And that's the thing. And I'm going to get to that. But having said that, when they said that to me, I then turned and said to who I was partnered with, I was like, listen, this is what I want. They said they've got a park. Is that all good? And it was like, yeah, all right, cool, we'll do that. And then afterwards we go to the restaurant, boom, boom, boom. So that was the flex. When we now got to the park, which they booked, yeah?
He booked it.
They booked. And, you know, I look back now, I'm like, how can you book a park for a local authority? Do you know what you have to go to get an authority to use a park? To film in it?
Yeah, permit. It's hard.
It's not easy. In comparison to booking an Airbnb. Chalet, come on. Your son can book an Airbnb for you, you know? So when I look back now, I laugh at it, but I see the hustle. And I saw it when they showed it on TV. So when we got there and we sit down now, they now start asking triggering questions. They're like, so how do you feel knowing that everybody is going to their home to meet the family and Kwame's brought you to the park? That's how I was sat there next to her, but they didn't show that bit. I'm like, so at one point, yeah, I was shaking my head like, what on? Because we literally left from the apartment to the park. So this is like an hour difference. I stopped filming. No word of a lie. I stopped filming. And one of the ladies, she was like, the main lady asking the questions, you know, she was like, oh, you know, what's wrong, Kwame? You know, she had an Irish accent. I'm not even going to try and do it. But she was like, what's wrong, Kwame? You know, do you feel ambushed? I'm like, hell yeah. You guys set this whole thing up to now ask these questions in a manner as if I chose it. Not to mention the fact that I told you guys from early, I'm not showing my crib, you know. So what I also highlighted, Tayo, is that if seeing my home was so important to her, that I was more than happy to go straight to my yard once the cameras are off. When they stop filming, we'll jump in an Uber, I'll go and show you my yard. Because it's about you. It's not the general public. I live in East London. I'm not showing everybody this is my plot. Bait, you know? So that's how that went down, you know? And then afterwards we went to the restaurant and all of that. But
so she went to your...
No.
She said no?
No. And that's the funny thing. The conversation never happened after that. And again, when I went to the sister, when we did the homestay at hers, the sisters brought that up. And I said, listen, all 4 of us, get in an Uber now, we'll go to my crib. No long thing. We could all go there, pour out some drinks, I'll show my yard. Let's go. If you really want to see it. Didn't happen. But obviously on camera, it's, hey, you know, how could he not? And then look how your missus was triggered. But it's beautiful though. It's beautiful. But, you know, I said, I'm going to come to this, yeah, when you said everyone else. Tom didn't go to his house.
Okay.
I don't think Adrian went to his house. April didn't go to her house. Whitney never went to her house. I don't think I remember seeing... Did Duca go to his house? If you really look at it and you pre it, you will notice...
stacked.
Yeah. You'll notice that quite a lot of people did not do a homestay. They met at a bridge or in a bar, or they sat somewhere and they did it. Do you know what I mean? A few did go home, like Sophie, Jonathan, Jordan, Shanita, you know, a few of them did go home. But quite a few of them didn't go to no crib, man. Do you know what I mean? But I was the one that was highlighted.
The narrative was being built, innit?
Yeah, that's it. But I love it though, man, because it put all the eyes on me.
No, the eyes are on you proper.
They were on
They
me.
were on you, they were on
They
you.
were on me, you know, and it was like,
Couple pitchforks.
yeah, you know, at one point I thought, but I wouldn't have got radio interviews. I wouldn't have got a lot of the exposure. There were several things I did on the show that had people, you know, I'm going on Shadeborough, Officially Urban, all of them. I'm there. Like, yo, TikTok. I'm like, okay, you know, and some of us, and this is why if you're going to go on a reality TV show, your head's got to be right. Because some of us can take it a lot better than others. And even me, there were points, bro, when I was like, you know, some people write some things in some comments. You want to go and say some things, you know, you want to deal. Yo, meet me at the park, innit, bro? Let's talk it out then, you know. But you got to be bigger and above it. And what it did was it took away the forgetfulness that can happen and made you a hot topic. So
You can't.
I was just going to say, so how did that translate? So obviously you messaged Eman on IG, said I'm about to do something. Well, there's a reason for it. And I guess what we're talking about is the marketing that a reality TV show can do for you. And as you were talking about the people that were on that show, that series was massive because all those names you said, I thought they were in different seasons. That's all your series, all your season. That's insane. So that's like a 6 series of it. What happened off the back of it?
Yeah, I think to be honest, I think it's going to be hard to top it. But I guess everyone says that about the season they're in. But it's just the diversity and the characters that were in that were wild. I'm looking at the new guys, but it's early days. But there was just something wilder about ours. But off the back of it, I'll tell you this for free. I don't think going on reality shows and that does as much as people think. Especially for black men. Yeah, especially for black men. I mean, let's look at an example. The first time I sort of noticed it was Love Island with is it Priscilla and Michael Boateng. They came off, they stormed the set. I'm like, this was Meghan and Harry, man. Like everyone was talking about them. But I saw that Priscilla, from what I saw, I could be wrong, but from what I saw, it looked like Priscilla was getting a lot more opportunities. I saw Schwarzkopf, I saw Pretty Little Thing, Boohoo, all of these things. I saw Michael get 1 or 2 things. I think he did a bit of Boohoo, but his sort of faded off quite quickly, and she was still doing bits. Again, recently with Dami and India, they've both come off, both equally popular. They were a couple. But I would go as far as to say it looks like India's having a lot more opportunities than Dami, you know. And then even off the back of that, if you look at the deals they've got, or just look back any of these shows, a couple of seasons, where are they now? So the reality of reality shows is you gotta have a hustle on before you go on there. And it's either that will enhance the hustle that you have or open doors. Or when you come off, Jono, you still got to work hard to go and push it. It's that whole thing of don't think you're going to come off and the deals will be falling in your lap. The best thing is you're going to get is more engagement and more followers, you know, hand in hand. But there are so many of you. You know, how many people of Geordie Shore look like a Jordan or a George or a Jonathan off a Love Island? So there are only a certain number of agencies that are going to sign you. So, okay, you're hot toddy right now. So, okay, we may cast, we may feature you. But then you got to be super hot. And in my opinion, I think Married at First Sight is slowly getting there. But it doesn't quite have the bombardment with the retail purchasing community as Love Island does.
That's a good analysis.
You know.
I think you hit the nail on the head there.
Yeah,
I think
because
you're absolutely
most of
right.
the people that watch Married at First Sight, they're gonna be like the ladies. It's like more the 30 plus. And I wouldn't necessarily say they're the big retailers. So if I own a retail company, how much sales am I gonna make off marketing you, as opposed to the younger community who are dead set on buying products? And that's, if you're gonna get a deal, it's gonna really be in a retail industry more so.
Yeah, and that lines up with what you said about the female influencers as well, the women, effectively,
Right.
because other women will literally buy off of another woman's word, and they buy quickly as well. Do you
Yeah.
get what I'm trying to say? It's that I'm
Yeah.
rocking this, I'm showing this style,
Yeah.
and women will buy it.
Yeah.
Whereas to a certain extent, men don't have that influence in that fashion
Yeah.
world like that, basically.
Because I don't believe men shop like that.
Yeah.
You'll go on Shein or ASOS or whatever is your poison. You might be on that app for 15, 20 minutes. You go to the filter, men's shirts, men's socks, trousers, pat, add to basket. You either buy there or come back in another day and do it. Your honey, your missus can stay on that app and spend time. If you're in retail, you need to target women. That's the thing. So that's why I even believe, why would I want to sign the man? I'll sign the woman and make the sales off of that.
And my thing is, this goes back to the whole, like in football, they talk about how, men footballers and women footballers should be paid equally. There's a big thing in basketball as well.
Yeah.
That men get paid more
Yeah.
than women when it comes to doing, and they're saying it's the same. Yeah. But nobody's crying that female models get paid more than male models. No one's saying that should be paid equal.
Yeah.
And I think sometimes we choose to decide where we want
course.
equality and where we don't.
Double standards.
And I totally agree with you. When it comes to this influencer thing, women are far more ahead. Get the
Far more
sales,
ahead, yeah.
they get the deals, they sign, and nobody complains, the men don't get the same brand deals for doing the same thing.
Yeah.
And no one's saying there should be equality when it comes to handing out that contract.
Yeah.
So for me, it's like what you're saying is so true. Yes, this gives you more attention.
Yeah.
But when you've got that attention, what have you got to sell?
That's
What have you got for that audience
Yeah.
to buy into?
Who's buying from you? And look, I'm not even complaining. Listen, I know I'm part of a population that's 3, maybe 5% of the entire population of the UK. So the relatability is already the smaller side, yeah? So if I were maybe a Caucasian male, there's a lot more relatability than to just me. Then how many people am I going to influence? Not to mention, I'm a 43-year-old man. Do you see what I mean? So that's why for me, the voiceovers is great. Or maybe getting into acting and stuff like that, because it's a different mindset with that. You can even draw in the ladies because of that. You got a guy in this production room with a voice that could serenade any of our wifeys because his voice is good. So there are certain angles that I think are very unisex. But if you're talking about the typical, atypical brand deals in a UK, I think if me and PJ were in a reality TV show in America, I think there will be a lot more brands hollering, just because of the opportunities that lay out there are different.
American
from in the
market's
UK.
mad anyway.
Simple
Yeah,
things.
it's different, yeah.
The simple things.
Yeah.
Like you think of a black man in the UK who's become successful, who hasn't gone to the States and then come back. We love Idris Elba. We love Damson Idris, but they both had to kill it in States before we loved them here. Idris Elba did The Wire before he did Luther. So, but what you can do is, if you have a brand already running, if you have a social media presence already running, these things can help push that and open doors. You have conversations. Oh, Kwame, I know who you are. And it can lubricate the conversations a bit better.
Yeah.
So on that note, because I know Come Out, they made you look like a villain.
Yeah.
In the thing. Like
I was Bane
you was
in Batman.
Like every newspaper was talking about you.
Yeah.
Like they were talking about you on TV shows. Everyone was discussing you, and they made you look bad.
Yeah.
At the time.
Yeah.
But you were going through your own things in real life.
Absolutely.
Behind the scenes.
Yeah.
With all that going on and all that happened, do you still think it was worth it?
Absolutely. If I were back there again and I had the choice to do it, I would so go and do it. because I'm all about living. I'm all about trying new things. I'm all about putting yourself out there. You know, I always say I'd rather be 70 and look back and regret the things I did than the things I didn't. You know, and you know what? Like, for example, voiceover work that I'm doing now, big push of that was being on the show. Because I went on the show, I came off, I swiftly realized I need to make something pop for me in the media world. I have my business and all of that. That's me, like how I was always doing it. But from this media thing, where can I actually get some paper? Voiceover work. So that pushed me to go. I actually went and spent £500 of my own money with a company called Lovely Voices, a lady called Leanne, to qualify myself properly. To, you know, they always say you have to prepare yourself for the opportunities that come. So I went and I saw this lady. I spent this money, went in a proper studio and created several voice reels, which you see me post on my page. And using those ads, I was then able to acquire opportunities. So it's things still don't fall in your lap. You still have to put in the work and invest. So from I did that. Then that landed me with a company that got me a job with TripAdvisor. So I've worked with them twice. That was my first job. Fantastic. Then, you know, my lady I'm with now, shout out to Nalika, she's half Jamaican, half Sri Lankan. So I always joke around with her and do like the patois accent here and there, just for jokes, you know. So she now knows I'm putting in this time and energy into voiceover work and that. So she comes across this vacancy for a movie where they're looking for someone to do a patois accent. So she sends me the ad, you know. I think we were both working at the time. She forwarded it to me. You know, you forward on Gram and that. So I was like, babe, come on now. I'm not gonna go and do no patois accent thing. I've been vilified enough.
I know.
Oh, Kwame's trying to do Jamaican accents now, yeah. So I was like, no. She was like, babe, you should do it. And what do we always say, gentlemen? Surround yourself with the people that believe in you, even if you don't believe in yourself. You understand?
Just about to say that.
She said it to me with such conviction. Like I said, let me just do it.
Yeah.
So I give wifey that encouragement that, you know what, keep sending me things, keep believing. So she sent it to me and I did it. And me, if I do something, I'm going to do it the best I can.
Yeah.
I did the audition, submitted it. A couple weeks later, I get a phone call from Freddie Nwaka. And then he's like, oh, bro, I'm doing this movie called Jafakan. And I was just like listening to all the auditions and I heard one. And what I do, because I need the voice, I'm not looking at who's doing it. I'm just listening to the voice. And I heard the voice and I'm like, yeah, this guy, this is the one I want. I'm gas smiling big time.
Yeah, you can hear your smile.
I just, bare teeth. And he's like, then when I saw who it was, and I saw it was you, I was like, oh, Kwame, I know this guy. You know, not just through TV, but, you know, we've crossed paths.
Of course.
You know, I did this documentary called The Ends documentary, which I'll be re-releasing soon. And that's the first time I really crossed paths him because he's always been in media and that, you know. So it was great. You know, there was no pickings there. So next thing, there I was in a movie with Peter Andre doing the voiceover work. All because wifey believed in me. All because I believed in myself and went and invested in the voice acting. All because that came off the back. Because one day I decided to take a risk and get into the media world. Let me try this media thing. I went on a TV show. So I believe everything that you do, there are opportunities that can come out of it. Do you know what I mean? And my advice to anybody that's putting themselves in the world, take the hate. Be a villain. Be remembered. Be noticed. That's the important thing. Be noticed. As long as it's not vile things. You know, there are some things you don't want to be known for. Come on. You know. But if it's that, some petty things, park bench. You know, Wolf and Forest need to name a park after me, bro. You know what I'm saying? I need a bench with my name.
People I brought through here.
Yeah, you know what I mean? People are coming and taking up. It's park bench and then tagging me. That happened a lot,
Seriously?
you know.
Yeah.
Yo.
It was big at one point. People were there.
I was getting tagged on park bench. People were going to parks, taking pictures and tagging me. Even my own cast. I remember Duca rang me one time. He goes, yo, bro, listen, I'm going to post something, but I don't want to offend you. And that's one thing I love. There was pure respect.
Yeah.
I was seen as an elder. So it was like, Kwame, I don't want to offend you, man. But I want to do a picture where I'm sitting park bench and I tag you and that. I was like, Charlie, do it, man. I don't care. You've got more followers than me. Let them see my name. Send them my way. You know what I mean? It's all love, you know. So just keep your eyes on the bigger picture and don't take life too seriously, because there's a lot more deeper, serious things that happen in life.
Yeah. We're gonna. I know we have to finish on this and talk about other things, but one thing that I didn't like was that you were being a gentleman.
Yeah.
And nobody gave you any credit for it.
Yeah.
You are in this position where you're like, if we're not connecting on every level, then I'm not going to take it to that level.
Come on now.
And yet the whole show was everybody was saying, oh, you should do something.
Yeah.
And, and it was so mad to me. I'm like, can we not praise a man for saying, actually, I'm not just going to, because let's be honest, as men, man can just do a thing. I mean, there's no feelings. It's not like that. We can do a thing, bust, and we're gone again. Man, want to bust again. You were very much like, I know that I don't just stand here as Kwame. I stand here as a black man in front of the nation, and I'm not going to do anything if I don't feel I have a certain level of connection with my partner.
Yeah.
And nobody gave you credit for it. Everyone just told you, are you going to bang though?
Yeah.
And it was just like, what?
Literally.
No matter what man said.
That's
Are you
actually,
gonna bang though?
Are you going to bang though?
It was an
I
insane
was like,
time.
what is happening?
Do you know, the funny thing is, when I really started, you get psychologists for the show. A lot of them advise against this, reading comments and whatnot. When I dug deep, bro, there was a lot of people backing me. But they're not as loud. You know, positivity is quiet, negativity is loud, you know. So you definitely heard that more. But if you read through certain comments on TikTok, on YouTube and that, a lot of people were like, yeah, but what he was saying is the truth. You know, and even I meet people, you know, and they're very quick to let me know. Like I was at Carnival and a lady asked to take a picture with me, you know, and she was like, I was a little bit, you know, at first you're like, I don't know what you're about. So she was like, no, don't worry, I'm on your side. Do you know what I mean? She let it be known, because it's a thing of, no, I understand where you're coming from and I relate. But no, very true, bro. And for me, I think it doesn't matter what I did. I think I was painted from the offset. If you understand psychology and subliminal messages, you will see it. So I'll give you a very quick breakdown. The very first time you saw the trailer for my wedding, they played a statement that I said in week 6. That's the first thing you really heard me say. Really, usually I go for someone more petite. This is a line I said to her sisters at the homestay. If you really watch it, because even when they play me saying it, I'm just walking and then that's the voiceover, you know. They played what I said in week 6, which in that context, it was a bit more understandable when they're saying, oh, but you told the producers you're looking for Rihanna, Beyonce, so, and then I said, I'm usually looking for someone with petite. But if you just watch the first thing, and so next we have Kwame and I'm walking there and then they play my voiceover. Usually I go for someone more petite. So before you've even seen my episode,
You already know
Hey.
the problem.
Yeah.
Sun
There's
newspaper,
gonna be people on you.
fat shaming
Facts.
Kwame, fat phobia Kwame, So irrespective of what I did, bro, it was gonna be looked at in that way.
Yeah.
And, you know, shout out to my homie Yinka. Before I was getting on the show, you ask your close peoples, what do you think, bruv? And he said, bruv, you have to know there's a chance you might be a bad guy.
Yeah.
But you could be Gordon Ramsay bad guy, or you could be, I don't know, Nick from EastEnders bad guy, I don't know, nasty Nick. But you have to prepare yourself mentally for either that. It may not go down the we love you like Ovi or something, you know. So it was shiesty, but I didn't mind, bruv. I didn't mind. I must admit, I did expect more people to be a bit more woke, to actually see, yo, do you not see what I'm doing? But, you know, I mean, I care less with what I say these days. And the fact of the matter is, if most people thought the way you did, you wouldn't be unique and different. Common sense isn't common. most people are led by what they see on TV. If TV says this is bad, everyone's going to say, yeah, it's bad. They're not going to dig deeper, think and whatnot. So all you have to do is make lemonade out of the damn lemons.
You know, I love that because I love what you're saying in regards to the fact that, like, okay, I feel like there are loads of young people I meet and they're like, I want to go on Love Island, or I want to go on one of these reality shows, and they want to get the fame.
Yes.
But what you're saying is the fame is one thing, but prepare yourself to, when you get it, how are you going to use it?
Absolutely.
And I think that's the problem. I think there are so many young people.
And also, how is it going to use you?
How is it going to use you?
Yeah.
Because that's the plan at the end of the day.
That's the plan at the end of the day.
That's the plan.
If you win from it, good for you. But how do we use you? And the reality is people do commit suicide.
Yeah, exactly.
People do suffer serious. Do you know when I came off the show, man, I came off like end of May. I'd say it took me about 8 weeks to really, I didn't even want to leave my house to go shop.
I remember.
I felt weird. You know what I mean? It was like, yo, and I came off, I had this podcast running with the boys. I was supposed to go live on Monday night at 9 p.m. I didn't want to see nobody.
Yeah.
I just wanted to close myself off, see my kids. It's weird. You know, I was like, how do people go jail and come out? And they expect you to go get a job. It's a whole different thing. It's mad. It really does. And then you see why they have psychologists and serious people on hand. And you get calls every week from the team to see how you're doing, irrespective of how you are. Of course, if you're a villain, they call you a little bit more. You know? Kwame, how are you doing? And you know, the funny thing is they tell you the episode that's going to come up before. So next week is the episode where it's the homestays. Oh, man. Come on. I just won them over with the irony comment. They were loving me. Can you not delay it a bit? So then they'll be like, so what do you guys actually show? I'm sorry, Kwame, you know, you're just going to have to see it. But if there's any issue, give us a call. All of that is because it's intense, bro.
Yeah. It's a lot. But like Iman said, I think that the points that you're making around social media, like, I think it depends on who you are. And you obviously had that business mindset on. A couple of times you said that sometimes people are doing stuff for the clout and whatever, isn't it? But
yeah,
you know what it is? Depending on who you are, you could be working for 5,000 more followers and it could be for clout. But if you're doing it with a business mind, it's literally just marketing. Like, if you know 5,000 followers, it has a conversion rate of 10% to buy products from you. Yeah. This is business.
Yeah.
Do you get what I'm trying to say?
It's facts.
It's literally business.
Listen, they're gonna sorry to cut you, bro. They if you have a brand contact you, which I had a few, those are the specific figures they ask for.
Exactly.
So you know, you can go into Instagram and click on your analytics, and it will tell you the major amount of gender that like you, is it male or female, how long they spend on your stories or your reels, the engagement, how many comments. These are the statistics they'll ask for that will make them decide whether they're going to use you and then inquire how much you're going to charge. You know, from £150 to £10,000, all depends a lot on your engagement.
Yeah, and what I was going to say was, when Coke brings back the same Father Christmas advert, holidays are coming, did it? Yeah. Mama says they're clout chasing.
Yeah.
It's the same ad every year.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? Nobody says, they're clout chasing, they're people way back from last year.
Yeah.
No, it's advertisement. It's like, whose job is it to make their brand known? It's their job.
Do you know what I think though, man? You know, like when you will see rappers that we all follow and love, like say LL or Dr. Dre and that, and they move out of the ends. And we like, they've changed. Yeah. They're sellouts.
Yeah.
And then there's the man them like Nipsey that stay and then get dealt with, unfortunately. For me, you just got to know people are going to talk. You know what? If you went on TV for clout, and so what? Go get your clout, Charlie. When you're riding in your money and your clout-given clout, you know, they'll still watch you. They'll still follow you. All of those things will be there. So if people can say what they say, and I think one thing going on TV enhanced for me, it showed me like that thing I spoke of not caring what people think. You got to do it more, as long as within you. If in my heart I was like, raw, my God, I proper did go on there for attention, but really in my mind I was thinking I'm going to find the love of my life, then I would be upset with me, and those comments would matter. But who on there was not gassed? everyone there, does Instagram just give you a blue tick? You have to apply. You know what I mean? We post, we do the brand, we love it. Look at anyone who's been on any of these shows. When you look at their posts, do they seem upset? Whether they're still together or not. And then the flip side is, and I said this on the show, but they would never show it. And I remember sat down on the couch opposite the experts, and I was saying to them that I'm a skeptic about all of this, which is why I'm taking my time. I don't really believe this, but I'll give it a go. Yeah. And I said, how many people have come off of this thing and they're still together? You guys are experts. You know everything. Of course they won't show that. But how many people are still together? Look at my one. I think the only two together is Jenna and Zoe. So, you think people don't know this when they're going on the show? There's a high chance your relationship ain't gonna work. But you know what, if it don't, you know what I mean? Let me get some clout.
So talk to me. We're wrapping it up. But
Yeah.
I want you to talk about, what would you say is then, after everything that's happened, what's your biggest win and your biggest loss? What would you say your biggest L, your biggest W?
No problem. Very good question as well. Very good question. Very good question. Biggest win is the wifey I have now.
No.
Jeez.
Hey, you know what?
Clap it up. Clap it up.
Do you know why? Because I was thinking about this yesterday and I wanted to say this. A man came on my talk show before I went on the TV show, and he made a comment about finding the right woman. And at the time I was single, right? And he said, what people do is they go on Instagram, they keep scrolling, and they keep tapping these girls that they want, that look a certain way. So what you're doing is you're chasing what you want, not what you need. And what you're doing is you're saying, I like this, I like this, I like this. But this may not be the right woman for you, for whatever reason, you know. And I heard that a little bit. Then I went on the show, and the biggest thing that Paul Brunson, shout out to PB, what he kept saying to me is, what you need versus what you want. And it's more important. And it really made me pre that, you know. But I had been in this place of the woman that I want don't tend to come with what I need. Yeah. And the woman that I feel I need, they don't necessarily have what I want. I want visuals. I'm not going to lie. But at the same time, I want a woman who's got respect, spirituality, be a good mom, all of these things, and empower me. So I was very blessed coming off the show to have that mindset. Yeah. And that's when I met Nalika. And it's like, our only thing was, we don't want to come across like we're trying to show after the show, like, hey, what's up? Genuinely, I'm gassed. I am happy. I've met a woman that is amazing for me. Yeah. I don't give a damn. If you like it, you don't like it, that's your business. I'm happy because you can be with someone that ain't good for you, ain't right for you, and everyone loves and claps for you. Oh, lovely couple. But behind closed doors, there's no happiness.
You're
it's
a prisoner,
dead.
basically.
Do you understand? Yeah. And I have grown and enhanced in so many other ways since meeting her. Biggest L was losing one of my contracts with the school. When it was announced that I was, when it was, the big reveal that I was going to be on Married at First Sight, I've been working with a school, which I'm sure Emmanuel had seen me work with for many years, with them from when they were just a year 7. Yeah. Now they had up to a 6th form. All the students knew me and that. But the head teacher wrote to me and said to me, this was the summer before the show aired, to say, Kwame, it's come to our attention that you've been on a reality TV show, Married at First Sight.
That you've been or going on?
No, that you're on it, you know, that you're about to go on TV with it. And as a result, our school can't be seen to be associated with such association. So as a result, we're going to have to, with immediate effect, terminate the contract we've got with you. And, the first thing that actually hit me was, I'm going to miss these kids. Because every year I'll see them. Yeah. I've seen them from there to now I'm looking up to them, they're taller than me. Yeah. Through the GCSE choices to now doing their GCSEs. I had such a strong relationship with the school. And the second thing that hit me was the money. But, it was like, damn, there are negative repercussions that can come with this because there's a certain connotation that comes with reality TV. Yeah. And I didn't even think it was that bad, And then the show aired, and I heard Tom speaking several times. I was like, yeah, okay. There's a lot of, it's a bit foul, yeah. You know. So, but yeah, I would say that was the biggest L for me, but definitely been so many wins off the back of it. Financially and business-wise, not as much as I would have liked, but absolutely so many W's, man.
I think one thing I would say, obviously knowing you for what feels like a long time.
A long time, yeah.
And obviously seeing you around women and and we've had loads of conversations.
Absolutely.
Like, I guess you meet people in life and you just know people that kindred spirit, like you can just talk to. And I personally, since you've been in this relationship, I've seen you different. I've seen the change in you, in the way that you talk, in the way that you move, even in your smile, in the way that you interact. Nice. And it's all positive. And I think sometimes in life we don't when we talk about like wins and wealth, we don't talk enough about the fact that the person you're in a relationship with can be your wealth.
Absolutely.
Can be the beginning to the wealth and that value that you get from having the right partner allows you to create value that allows you to bring money.
Yes.
And I feel like with you, one thing with you still got it cheeky, risque, whatever.
Yeah.
But I feel like she's just
Polished
shaped
it.
you. Just
Polished it.
Like
she gave you
she just, you understand?
She getting gassed right now, boy. She getting gassed. It's got to be a smiley journey home.
It's like,
it's a great analogy. You know, like you could be wearing you could be wearing a suit, but it just needs your woman to come and straighten it up.
like
it wasn't straightened. It looked bummy.
Like,
but just that.
That's
No,
she's done it, and it's
Yeah.
like I used to because you don't.
I
Kwame
figured
could just say anything, and sometimes you'd be like, why have you done this to me? Why have you done this? But now I don't worry. Like you don't worry because I know that you got someone there. Just yo, babe, chill out. Like do you understand? Like I know that, and it's so important to have someone that you respect enough to listen to their opinion.
Yes.
Because sometimes I feel like a lot of the time, like with women in the past, I feel like they've put you on this pedestal where you feel like you're the man.
Yeah.
Like whereas I feel like for the first time you've met someone where you actually feel like I'm lucky to be with them.
Yes.
And I think that different in that dynamic has made you a better Kwame.
It changes everything.
It changes everything.
That's
So
good to hear,
and I'm proper proud. Like
No, thank you, bro.
So
and
happy to see.
And you know what? Honestly, I do feel because we both equally hustle.
Yeah.
But then it's just all of the angles are ticked. With the kids, great. We do our own little hustle. You know, I was saying to you before coming here today, we're working together. And then there's the fun. And there's just a balance and understanding. And I have always wanted to have like a strong relationship. I wouldn't have gone and got married. And I'm not talking about the TV show. That one there was different, you know. It was that I have always wanted to have. I believe every successful man I know and aspire to be like, they have that family. They're married. They have their wife. They have their kids and that. So for me, no matter how successful I am, if that part's not there, there's a little bit of emptiness. You know what I mean? Like a lack of spirituality. No matter how much P and that, what's missing? So it's very grateful for that, and it's. Yinka asked me when he was interviewing me in the KB Talk Show, he was like, do you really believe that a partner can help shape? And I was like, absolutely. Because they're there when you come home. They're the ones that speak belief and power into you or can take it away. You know, so which is why you have to be so careful who you pick and who you decide to take the condom off with.
You see what I told you? It was never any need. It was gonna do it.
But hey, you know what? Yeah, if you think that, wait till you hear my new single.
Yeah,
and then
tell them
see if you still for the. So I got a new single called.
I heard a clip of it.
Yeah, you heard a clip. Yeah. Can you listen to the whole song, please? So basically, I've got 2 new singles. One's called Summertime Love. So I've done that with Nalika. She's singing the hook and doing a bridge. I'm doing a bashment verse on that. And then I've got my solo single, which is called Ready, you know. And there's quite a few references to the show in there as well. Shots. I wouldn't call it shots. I'll call them facts. You know what I mean? You know.
So basically you made a diss track.
Man gave it enough. Man ether them.
An ether. You know, like one of the lines I say in the bashment is, I'm like, don't get mad from my brethren, me just went on TV and bust a little fool date. Yeah, and the whole essence of that line is to say, don't get mad at me, bro. It's nothing serious. It's just a TV show I went on. Did a little dating, you know what I mean? And the lines that follow that, I'll wait for you to listen to it, man.
So no,
Come on, man.
But it's I love the tune. And look, I say to everybody, if there's something you want to do and you enjoy doing it,
absolutely.
don't worry about results or how people will take it. If you and yourself, you feel it, you've been given that gift. Do it. If you get one like, you get one like. Maybe that one like could be, name somebody. Who do you love?
My mum.
Okay. Yeah, mum's always like
Like,
it.
Mum's always get it.
Who write
No, but
comments
like
under
you
your
said-
post.
like you
Well
said,
done, son. Ooh,
It could be like a Jay-Z or
Yeah,
could
you
be,
don't know who's watching. Yeah, yeah.
That's
Like,
it. That's it. You know, but before I close, when I was doing my Instagram posts, I was doing a lot of business, as Emmanuel said. I had a lot of people advising me that the business you do, you shouldn't be playing yourself driving in a car listening to hip hop. You shouldn't be skipping with your top off. You know, you shouldn't be showing yourself up in the club with your mans them, maybe smoking on a cigar or whatever. And for a little bit, I started doing it. But then I didn't enjoy my socials anymore because it wasn't me.
Yeah.
I started doing it. Next thing I had, Married at First Sight came to me.
Yeah.
Telling me they like my profile.
Yeah.
Be yourself because you don't know who's watching. And it wasn't about likes. And I was on 8,000 followers then. To be fair, I got the same likes I did then as I get now. But, you know, it was, you don't know who's really watching. And those can be real people that like it. If that's your thing. But don't even worry about that. Just do it, man. Just do it. That's it.
Love that, man.
Big man, bread and butter.
Come on. We're here. We're here.
Yeah, it's brilliant, man.
Big Kwame, I just want to thank you, man. Thank you for coming on.
Thanks
Thank you for being you. Thank you for being honest. Thank you for being open.
It's the only way I know how to be, man. I'm
But-
here with my Guinness punch.
Come on.
My bandana to swipe my sweat. And as you said, my velvet thing. If someone
Velour
tags
shirt.
me as Quality Street now, yeah, I'm coming for you, you know.
need to find the
If I
flavour.
get got a hashtag Kwame Badu Quality Street shirt or something.
No, but you know what? You know what's big?
part of the
The biggest thing I always learned from you is that, like, there's no boxes. Can't put me in a box.
Yeah.
And I love that about you because we need more people speaking about the fact that you can be from the hood and you can be a ladies' man. You can be a businessman. You can be soft. You can be a father. You can be. You understand? You don't
it.
have to be one thing
Be
all the
a
time.
and, not an
Like,
or.
and
Yeah.
That's it.
And that message is what we definitely got today in today's podcast. So thank
Fabulous.
you so much, man.
Love,
Appreciate
brother,
it, my
man.
bro, man. Thank you
Big
so
up,
much.
man. You know what I mean? Next time wear a Ghana shirt. though, yeah?
Next time, get me one, bro.
You see, that's the Nigerian thing. Swag it back. Yeah, but get me one.
Get
Then
me
I'll
one.
wait. Blessings, guys. Man.
Bless,
Big up,
bless.
man. Bread and butter.
Guys, that's been the Bread and Butter podcast. We'll see you on the next one.
Make sure you like, comment, and subscribe. Thank you.